Hello boys and girls, this is your mini lesson on irregular verbs. I'm just going to read these little paragraphs right here at the top. It says, most present tense verbs are changed to past tense by adding ed. So that's kind of a review from what we did in the past lesson, where you just had to change the verb to past tense by adding ed. Sometimes you had to drop the y, add an I, and then add ed. It says these verbs are called regular verbs. So regular verbs are verbs where you add ed to make it past tense. It says some verbs do not add ed when changed to the past tense. Since these verbs have special spellings, they are called irregular verbs. So irregular verbs don't usually have ed at the end. So it says the past participle form of the verb is used with the helping verbs has, have, and had. So irregular verbs you're going to usually see with has, have, and had. These I'm going to add here, no ed ending. So these are the verbs that we're going to look at today, are the irregular verbs. All right, this chart is going to be very helpful for you for this lesson. These are your verbs. This is the present tense. So like these are the action words if it was today. This is the form of those. And then this one right here, this column, are the past tense spellings of this verb here. So these are the past tense if it was to happen in the past. Notice that none of these end with ed. The past participle, remember, has, have, and had. You would use these for these past tense spellings of the word. All right, so we're going to practice. Change my screen a little bit. There we go. All right, so it says complete each sentence using the correct past tense form or the past participle of the verb. So it says Francis bought Lowell blank a place for his new mill. The verb is find. Well, this is something he did in the past, so we're going to have to change that. So we're going to look at the chart here, find right here, okay? And the past tense is found. You can use the past participle has, have, or had found. But in this case, all we need to do is just write found. Write that on the line. By the way, I'm on page 201 in your English book, so if you want to follow along, you can do that. Number 2 says he had, so they already have that past participle word had, come with a new design for weaving loom. So we're going to look up here on our chart. Here's come, and we're just going to, since it already has had, right there, if you look over here on the chart, had come, so it's the same word. So he had come with a new design for a weaving loom. Number 3, the new loom, and the word is take, or verb is take, less time than hand weaving of cloth. So we're going to look up on our chart, find take. It's right here. And the past tense is took. So we're just going to write in took. Number 4, Lowell had, and the verb is write, the plans for his machine from memory. We're going to look on the chart, find write, the past tense is wrote, but if you notice, there's that past participle word had, so we actually have to look in this column, because there's had, and the verb form is written. Lowell had written the plans for his machine from memory. Number 5, amazed people. C is the verb, the speed of his new machine. So look up here, find C, and the past tense is saw. Now you can write it 2 different ways. You can say amazed people saw the speed of his new machine, which is fine. Or you can also put in here had seen. So either one is okay. So saw or had seen. Either of those are correct. Number 6, Lowell, verb is think, he could change the way factories operated. So we're going to look up here, find think, and the past tense is thought. Or you can also say, or add the past participle word had thought. I'm going to put that in parentheses because you can have it, you don't have to have it. As long as the sentence makes sense when you're reading it, that's the most important thing. And then number 7, historians have, verb is say, the machine changed the textile industry. So we're going to look up here for say. It's right here. Past tense is said. Have said. So historians have said the machine changed the textile industry. So that is basically what today's lesson is all about with irregular verbs. You're going to want to go back and reflect on this chart for your independent practice, and I will go over that with you real quick. So for independent practice, it's the same as what we just did in the guided practice, where you're going to go back, remember, look back at that chart, find the past tense of these verbs, and then you may or may not have to add the past participle word to go with that form of the verb. For this section, it says, read each pair of sentences, fill in the circle next to the correct answer. So for example, number 6, the factory had given the mill girls rooms in the boarding house. Or the factory had gave the mill girls rooms in the boarding house. So as you're reading those 2 sentences, think about which one makes sense. And if you need to, go back to the chart. See, there's that word give. And here's the past participle given. So you want to think about how or which sentence is most correct. And you're going to bubble in the correct sentence there. All right, for 11 through 15, it says underline twice the correct verb in each sentence. In the 1800s, for example, children goed to work in the factories. So if you think that is correct, you underline goed twice. Or in the 1800s, children went to work in the factories. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do this one for you because we all know that the correct one is went. So you're going to underline that twice. The apply and write at the bottom, that is optional. I'll just put a star next to that. You can do it. You don't have to do it. Like I said, the independent practice up here, this is the most important information and practice that you need for your next test. All right, if you have any questions or concerns, please get in touch with me and I can help you with your English.